Thank you, Madam Chair. It's refreshing that we actually have a Canadian leading the CBC instead of someone coming out of New York. So thank you and congratulations. It's interesting, you left after 29 years of CBC, and as you know, CBC is not a nonprofit. I mean, they get $1.4 billion in funding plus $400 million in advertising, and then through C18 now, they get almost another $100 million through Google. So you're getting quite a bit. You're not a nonprofit organization. Why did you decide when you did leave CBC that you would go to a nonprofit like TV5 when I come from the private sector? The CBC is the motherlode of organizations.
Well, I alluded to my path through the CBC. It was an incredible opportunity to discover all sorts of different areas, different types of jobs and work, and different teams. When the headhunter came knocking at my door 29 years ago, it seemed that being a CEO of a small company was the right thing for me. And I loved the mandate, and it allowed me to expand on my experience. So that's why I went.
Your timing was interesting because CBC really left television and radio when you left. They focused more on digital where you were. So they have pumped millions of dollars into digital in the last 9 years. They have done more so in digital than they have television and radio. Your thoughts? Because you were in charge of digital when you left.
I was in charge of digital when I left, and I'm glad that CBC and Radio-Canada have invested in digital because that's where Canadians are. That's important that we stay current with Canadians' practices in terms of media consumption. However, I would not say that they've left radio and television. As an avid consumer of radio, I can tell you that the quality and the depth of programming that is available to me, both on talk radio and music radio, is as good as when I left.
But not so on television.
Well, I would dispute that with Radio-Canada. I'm not a big consumer of CBC because I've been so immersed in French programming in the last 9 years. But I can, as a viewer, tell you that the quality of programming and depth of programming that is available on Radio-Canada TV, but also on TV and other services is of high quality.
What was the criteria of bonuses when you were at TV5, when you were the CEO there? There must have been a criteria for bonuses. Nobody leaves the corporation after 29 solid years to go to a nonprofit. There has to be some incentive there.
Well, I'm not sure I understand your question.
When you were there, the bonuses. What was the criteria?
Whose
well,
bonuses?
Did you have a bonus built into TV5 when you got there?
I have, at TV5, I have a base salary, and there's a variable pay program at TV5. It's standard.
Is that something that you would continue to have a voice of when you do get to the new job, January 3rd at CBC? Is that something you would talk about, taking it from a nonprofit, TV5, to CBC, when you do come, about bonuses? I mean,
I'm not sure I follow your question. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I really am trying. What's TV5 got to do with the question?
Well, I think people look at the bonuses, and you've heard around the table here, it's been a hot issue. And you know that coming here. You sat and visualized the mandate, the new mandate of the CBC. You were there for weeks talking about it. You must have heard the public talk about the bonus structure is what has upset most Canadians in this country about it. Your thoughts on that?
The discussions we had at the expert committee was really on mandate and governance. So it wasn't about internal policies about compensation.
How are you going to turn the trust around? You talked a little bit about
30 seconds.
How are you going to turn the trust in the public broadcaster around? You have seen it erode in this country. How are you going to turn the trust into the CBC around with the general public?
Well, I can tell you, because I talk with my colleagues in Europe, we see the trust issue, all of us, all public broadcasters see the trust issue as something central to our mission, to our mandate, and there are different currents of opinion currently worldwide on the issue of public broadcasting. So it's not something that's specific to the CBC or specific to Canada. It's a challenge for all of us public broadcasters to maintain that trust and to earn it, honestly. It's about earning it. You never take it for granted.
Thank you.